everyone, I'm Nicole Newman, and today I'm going to be showing you a recipe for some blueberry muffins. Why blueberry muffins? Well, today there is a reason behind. Lately I've just been doing recipes that a lot of my friends and family like, or things that I have just been in the mood to cook based on the season. We're getting into fall now, so lots of soups and chilies planned, but today I'm doing blueberry muffins because my husband and I recently found out that we're expecting. And I meant to do this recipe last week, but I was not feeling well. So last week my baby was the size of a blueberry, and I have found a cute little week by week article on Pinterest that shows all the different sizes that the baby is and relates it to a food item. So I thought that would be a great direction to head with the cooking channel for the next 7 months to talk about maybe a recipe that correlates to that. So this week it's going to be blueberries. That was last week, but like I said, I was sick, so blueberries will catch up and just keep going from here. So I'm going to be making blueberry muffins. I have a large bowl here filled with 3 cups of flour, 3/4 cups of sugar, and I've gone ahead and added my dry ingredients in here just so that way you don't need to see me measure that out. So I'm going to add in the rest of my dry ingredients. I have a tablespoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to add in a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg. I'm going to do about a 1/2 teaspoon of the nutmeg and a teaspoon of the cinnamon. And this will just kind of give the muffins a little more spiciness to them. I like that. And a teaspoon of my ground cinnamon. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and give this a stir. I also have some about 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. I have about 1.5 cups of sour cream. I put about maybe like 1 cup and a little extra in here, and then I thinned it out with a little bit of milk just so that way it would incorporate into the batter a little more. I've got 2 cups of blueberries. I dusted these with some flour. It'll help the blueberries from sinking to the bottom of the muffin if you add a little bit of flour to them. I have 2 eggs and my vanilla here. I'm going to add in a little bit of brown sugar, about 1/3 cup. And my oil. Now when we start getting these, all of my wet ingredients mixed in, I'm going to add them all first and then mix them in, because, get my eggs in there, I don't want to overmix the muffins. You'll get big gaping tunnels in them, big holes, if you overmix them. So I just want to get all of my wet ingredients in first, and then I'm going to give these a mix. We'll get them into our muffin cups. We're going to do a crumb topping for them too. And then I'll fold in the blueberries once I get this all mixed in. So I'm going to start by breaking up that brown sugar because I had 1/3 cup packed. That's just going to add a little more sweetness and a little more of a chewy texture to the muffins. Alright, and then just get this mixed in, and like I said, we don't want to overmix it. Just until everything's incorporated will be fine. Alright, and then I'm going to clean off my spoon here. I'm going to add in some of our blueberries. And get a little bit of melted butter in here too. I'm going to use about 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Look at that. Add our blueberries in, get our butter melted, and then when we come back we'll get this all folded together. Alright. Sorry about that. I forgot to melt my butter down when I was getting everything in place. So I have my butter melted. I'm going to add a little bit of my vanilla to it. About 2 teaspoons should be fine that we'll add into that. I'm going to go ahead and just pour this in on top of my blueberries. And start getting that all folded in and incorporated together. Now it's a pretty thick batter, but it's really good. They make nice blueberry muffins. Alright, so the blueberries are incorporated throughout. You don't want to overmix it. Like I said, we don't want those big tunnels in here. Go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm going to start scooping them. I'm just using a spring-loaded scoop, and I kind of do a heaping. I want it to be really full because I want to get like a nice muffin top as it rises in the oven while it's baking. Just look pretty that way. And I don't use like the big muffin pans. This is just a cupcake pan, but it's just a lot of calories and that's a lot of muffin to eat. So we just use this size. It's an easy, quick grab and go. So I'll make a batch for the beginning of the week, and then we'll have something quick and easy for breakfast in the mornings. So I'm just going to do a heaping tablespoon. Now, they're almost ready to go in the oven. I have it preheated to 400 degrees, but we're going to do a crumb topping for them as well. And for my crumb topping, I have about 1.5 sticks of butter that I have crushed through with my pastry blender. I'm going to add 3/4 cup of brown sugar. I've got about 1/4 cup of flour in there. And then I'm going to add in some cinnamon and sugar too. And that is really what makes these muffins so delicious. You get that nice crumbly topping on them. They're really good. All right, last one here. I have a few more to bake, but I'll go ahead and get this crumb topping going. Add in our brown sugar. I've already got my butter and flour in here. There we go. And then I'm just going to eyeball the cinnamon, but about a teaspoon again, and a half teaspoon of the nutmeg. Somewhere around in there. This part doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes I'll add like some allspice or ginger or clove. If you're adding clove, it's a pretty strong spice, so you just want to do no more than maybe like just a pinch. You don't need a lot of it. A little goes a long way. Alright, so I just kind of get that all incorporated, the butter and the sugar together. And what happens is the butter melts and kind of helps caramelize the sugar and gives it a really nice crust on top. Alright, just clean out my pastry blender. And I'm just going to grab a spoon. And just take some of my filling and I just kind of press on top of each muffin. It gives it a really yummy crumble. And then I'm going to bake these for about 20 minutes. And then check them, and I might let them go a few minutes longer, but they'll take at least 20 minutes to get done. 20 to 25, 28 minutes on these. And if you come across any big chunks of butter, you can just break them up with your finger. Alright. One more. Alright, and there we have it, our blueberry crumb top muffins. Size of my baby last week. Gonna go ahead and get these baking, and we'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. I'll see you in a second. Alright, so my muffins baked in the oven for 22 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead, I went ahead and unwrapped one. I just have the blueberry here for size. So this was the inspiration, the size of our baby last week, and the recipe that I made inspired by that. And I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of show you before I bite into it. You can see we didn't overmix them. We don't have those big tunnels or anything. The blueberries are throughout. They're not all at the bottom because we added the flour to them. So those are just some tips to keep in mind whenever you're making something like a bread or a muffin with blueberries in them. That trick for blueberries would also work well for like a coffee cake or pancakes or anything else like that. Or if you were just going to do this as one big cake, you could do that as well. So I know they're delicious, but what I love most about them is that you have a sweet batter, and then the blueberries give it like a nice tart flavor. So they're really good. I would love to hear how yours turn out. You can tag me on social media at Nicole Newman's Kitchen, and I will see you guys next week. So good.